Hey everybody! So what is the fastest gun that you can use in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2? That's what I'm taking a look at in this video, comparing 4 of the fastest SMGs in the game, the Vel 46, the Lachmann Sub, and then also the Minibak, and then finally the Fennec 45. So for each one of these, I've got 8 different comparisons around speed and mobility that I'm going to do. Sprint speed, tactical sprint, walking and crouch speed, ADS move speed, ADS time, sprint to fire time, and then finally reload speed. So I'll go into those comparisons now, which takes a minute or two if you want to skip ahead, and then talk about the final results of everything. And then based off that, I've got a couple builds that I did based off of those results using the fastest guns to make them even faster using attachments. So I'll cover that as well. Alright, so looking at the final results of this, I've kind of got it all laid out in a spreadsheet here with the summary of all the numbers and whatnot that we can go through. So these are all base gun comparisons, no attachments were used. It's also important to note that I used the double time perk, so that is going to double the duration of tactical sprint and then also increase crouch movement speed by 30%. So we'll kind of go through these, not in too much detail. If you want to pause and study this or whatever you can, but sort of long story short is that the Lachmann Sub and the Fennec are kind of the winners of all of this. I would say the Vel 46 is in 3rd place, and then the Minibak is in 4th place. So kind of looking at the numbers and how much they won by and things like that. Up here is just sort of the raw data. So this test was 47 meters, and then the time it took, you can use that then to get meters per second. So that's what all this is. And then over here, I think is probably the more important bit, where it's comparing the winner to the other guns just to see how much it won by. So you can see is it really, really fast, or is it just sort of average compared to all the other guns? So looking at that, going through one by one, the sprint speed, the Fennec is the clear winner, basically 9% faster than all the other guns in terms of sprint speed. Tactical sprint was kind of interesting. That was just a tie across the board. And then really the others, the Lachmann Sub wins out. However, not nearly to the point where the Fennec won by sprint speed. So you can see here, Lachmann's the fastest in all of these: walking speed, crouch speed, ADS move speed. Not by much on walking speed, basically within 1% of the other guns. Crouch speed was kind of interesting. The Vel 46 actually ties with the Lachmann, but then quite a bit faster than the Minibak and also the Fennec to a certain extent. And then I think ADS move speed is where the Lachmann kind of excels the best. You can see it's 4 to 5% faster than the Vel 46, 7% faster than the Minibak, and then just about 1% faster than the Fennec. So really, the Fennec completely wins out on sprint speed and then sort of is in the running for all the other categories. So I would say that's probably the overall winner if you're to look at it that way. And then the other stats we looked at, so ADS and sprint to fire speed, Lachmann Sub and the Fennec went out there pretty easily, about the same ADS time, 0.15 seconds. So basically instantaneous. Sprint to fire, very similar results. Vel's in 3rd place, Minibak's in 4th place. And then finally looking at reload speed. So this is kind of interesting because you have to take into account the base mag size as well. So the Vel 46 has a 40 round mag. The Lachmann has a 30 round and the Fennec has a 30 round, but the Minibak has a 64 round mag. So you can see the Lachmann Sub, slowest reload speed, Minibak is almost in first place, but it also has a 64 round mag, so that's sort of the one bright spot for the Minibak. And then first place was the Vel 46, and then the Fennec 302. So now, after going through all the comparisons, looking at the results, and kind of coming to the conclusion that the Lachmann Sub and the Fennec are the two best options if you're looking for like what is the fastest gun to use, I've got builds that I did for each one of those using attachments to kind of enhance that even further. So we'll go through each one of those, and then I kind of do another round of comparisons so you can see the final impact of all of that. So starting with the Lachmann Sub, keep in mind I didn't technically make these as fast as absolutely possible. I did want them to be viable too. So for example, like with this gun, you can add a 15-round magazine, which I just don't think is practical to use on an SMG, so I didn't go to that extreme. So technically, these could be faster, but anyways. Starting off, the laser, I'm using the VLK laser. That helps out with quite a bit of like ADS speed and things like that. The Forged DX90 muzzle, it doesn't have any mobility penalties, but it does help out with recoil control a little bit. Same thing with the Shark Fin 90, no mobility penalties, but helps out with stability. Likewise, the Lachmann TCG10 rear grip helps out with recoil without any sort of mobility penalties. And then finally, the stockless mod, which does have quite a few mobility benefits. So that helps enhance that speed quite a bit with that attachment. And then moving on to the Fennec, which is a very similar build using a lot of the same type of attachments. Just like the Lachmann, we've got the VLK laser, the Forged DX90 muzzle, and the Shark Fin underbarrel. So that's just like the Lachmann build. And then this Fennec stippled grip is basically the same grip that the Lachmann's using. And then for the stock, which is really the only difference, is we're using this Agile Assault 7 stock. So that's the build for the Fennec, and then you got the build for the Lachmann. Now I'll just show some very similar comparisons that I did with the base gun so you can see the impact that that's having, and then we'll look at some raw numbers as well to see what the overall sort of conclusion of all of this is. Okay, so now we're back in the spreadsheet for one final time just to kind of look at the overall final conclusion of all of this. So we determined that the Lachmann Sub and the Fennec are kind of the two fastest options out there, and then we've got built versions of them now using attachments to make them even faster. So that's kind of what this is all looking at, the impact of those built guns. So we've got the base version of the two guns and then the built version. Kind of the interesting bit is over here. So this is very similar comparisons to what we did with the base comparisons. This is looking at the built Lachmann versus the built Fennec. So sprint speed, the Fennec again wins by about 9%. And then the Lachmann Sub is going to win out on all the other categories. So now with these two built versions, the Lachmann's 1% faster on tactical sprint speed, quite a bit faster on walking speed, about 4.5%, significantly faster on crouch speed at 9%, and then 3% faster on the ADS move speed. So if these are sort of the stats that you're interested in, the Lachmann Sub is probably the better route to go. However, the Fennec, if you really do like that pretty significant increase to sprint speed, then the Fennec might be a better option. And it is sort of still fairly quick on all the other categories as well. ADS and sprint to fire speed, they're basically tied, so no real winner there. And then the Fennec does win out in terms of reload speed, so it's got about a 12% faster reload time. And then finally, if you're just curious what the impact of those attachments had to the base version of the gun, that's what this column is over here. So The Lachmann, all of the attachments that we used increased sprint speed by 3%, tactical sprint by 0.25%, walking speed, you can see the numbers here, but pretty significant increases to crouch and ADS movement speed with those attachments. Fennec, a 3% increase to its sprint speed. Tactical sprint speed, interesting, saw a decrease, which is interesting. Walking speed, no impact. 5 to 6% increase to crouch speed, and then 11% increase to ADS move speed. And then also a very slight decrease to ADS speed. I mean, it's already basically instantaneous, so you can't really get much improvement there. And then obviously the reload speed had no impact. All right, so wrapping everything up, if you are looking for, what is the fastest gun to use, if you're really concerned about high mobility, moving around the map quickly, whether it's Warzone 2 or Modern Warfare 2, I highly recommend either choosing the Fennec or the Lachmann Sub. I've got those builds that I shared if you want to try those out, but overall, just base version of the gun, they're going to be the quickest options for you. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you later. Bye.